these are the best settings you can have in Battlefield 6. I'm gonna show you everything step by step. You just follow and set it up yourself. There are also timestamps of every menu, but if you wanna get fully set up, you should watch the whole video. So, accessibility. Here, the only thing you can set that is not on other pages is hints. So I have all of this on basically because they're pretty useful. So gameplay, don't really need to switch anything here because you have all the settings in all these other tabs. Now if you want, you can change your base infantry aim sensitivity, so you don't need to do it separately on controller or mouse and keyboard, but people usually play on one of these, so you can set it here. I have it on 80 and mouse on 30. I'm gonna talk about that more later. So now if you're a controller player, go to edit settings, now go to control settings. This is probably the most important page for controller players. So first, sensitivity. Every pro player I've heard says that you should start at 80. Now field of view should either be 105 or around 90. That's what I like. Then we have uniform infantry aiming, which is definitely a good thing to turn off so you can build muscle memory. Now, most people have a screen of 16 by 9, and for that screen you should use this exact coefficient, 177 or 178. And if you have infantry aim assist, definitely turn this on, the next one also on, and the third one, zoom snap, you should turn off because it messes up your muscle memory. Aiming acceleration, definitely turn that off. Then we have all these buttons, which I haven't honestly changed. The only thing I would check, double tap crouch for sprint slide. This I like to have on, so I have my crouch, my slide and my prone all on the same button. Then we have zoom. The only thing here I would do is change steady scope to your zoom button. So the same button as you zoom in, you should have your steady scope. So this is mostly for snipers, so when you zoom in you already are steady. Then you have another important thing, vertical aim ratio and zoom aim sensitivity. These both have to be on the same value. I have it on 65. This is probably the least you want. You can also bump it up to 100. You can try, but I wouldn't recommend it. All of this I haven't changed. Okay, so we're still on controller. Now we go to infantry control mapping. These are just all the buttons, and honestly I haven't changed anything here. This is all personal preference. Then we have to vehicles. Vehicles I don't really play that much, so what you do here is do the same as for infantry. Aim sensitivity 80, field of view maxed out, everything else, uniform vehicle aiming on, all the coefficients on, the same aim ratio, the same. Okay, so the same as on infantry. Very important thing on this tab is controller tuning. Now here you have vibrations, you can turn them off. I like a bit of vibration, so it immerses me even more, but for optimal experience, for optimal aiming, you can turn this off. And if you have left stick dead zone, this is very important. Center dead zone, you should have the lowest amount possible before you get stick drift. Axial dead zone should always be 0 and max input on 33. The same thing with left stick, dead zone should be the least amount before you get stick drift. I usually do 5, sometimes I do 10 on some shittier controllers, but yeah, something around this point. Max input 100 and again axial on 0. Controller triggers should all be on the lowest point, so you can trigger your zooming and shooting as fast as it possibly allows you. Then gyro, I don't use gyro, so leave all this here as it is. Flick look, I don't use it, so you can also just leave this alone or put it to disabled. Okay, so that's it for controller. Now go to mouse and keyboard. The most important thing, right? So what I usually do is check my physical space on my desk. I put the mouse from left to right, and in that distance I should be able to turn around for 360. That's what I do. I don't really play on mouse and keyboard that much, so I'm not the most informed about this, but I have it on 30 for now. You should also do uniform soldier aiming here. Everything else is basically the same. Mouse sensitivity is the same. Coefficients, uniform soldier aiming. Definitely turn this on and do it the same as on controller. But what I would do here is infantry zoom aim on mouse and keyboard. I would put at 100. Hip fire and zoom aim be the same speed, and aim ratio on 100 because you have this on 100. Okay, that's it for keyboard and mouse. Let's go to graphics. Okay, so in graphics on PlayStation or Xbox, any console you only have two choices, performance or quality. For Battlefield 6, definitely go with performance, because this is an FPS game, you need as much FPS as you can get, so definitely go for performance. Now on PC, I have a pretty mid-range CPU and high-end GPU, and when I'm streaming or making videos, I have it on medium or low, but otherwise I have it on high. It is more than capable for this. But if you want the most FPS, the most competitive advantage, definitely go with low. Everything on low, so you have the most FPS and less clutter on the screen. Here you can change everything specifically, so yeah, go everything on low for the most optimal experience for getting kills and winning the game. Okay, go back to graphics. We have brightness and sharpness, leave this as it is, it's okay. Field of view, we already set all of this. Weapon field of view, go with white, definitely. Here, everything from world motion blur down to field grim, turn all this off. Then we have display, nothing to really do here. And we have HUD, because if you go here to advanced HUD settings, you have minimap here. Now, what I like to do is change this close minimap view, which is the base minimap you have in the corner, and I believe it's on 40 at the start, but I bump it up to 75 so I can see more stuff on my minimap, but it's still precise enough to know where enemy players are, and I will usually bump all these three up to max. Now also you have dynamic minimap, which then changes directions as you change directions. I usually turn this off, so my minimap is always at the same spot. We have big mega opacity, I didn't change this. Vehicle HUD hints, I honestly left all of this, it's alright. Kill feed, you can make squad and nearby, so you know if kills are happening nearby you, and you can actually then know if your player dies or if enemy players dies. And kill feed icons, I have this on. Okay, if we go down now to icons and indicators, crosshairs and indicators. Crosshair color set to this some bright color, which is not in the game. I have it on pink. I like my crosshair thick, so I have it on thick. Opacity and intensity, I have all of this maxed, so my crosshair is really visible. Then we have heat indicator. I will just change the colors to some bright colors, so you see when you kill someone. So every time I see orange, I know that guy is dead. That's all nice. Now damage indicator. I bumped my number size to large because I really want to see how much damage I deal. I also think I changed this offset by 5 or something, so it's more to the center of the screen. Okay, that's all for here. Now we go down to chat settings, nothing really important here. Then we go to audio. So for audio, you can leave this on auto, it's perfectly fine. Now we have audio mix. Now here I realized that the best audio mix for hearing footsteps, which is my priority, is VOR-Tapes. So I have it on VOR-Tapes. Then we go to volume, master volume, always 100. Music, I usually have it around 30, so I can still hear some music, or you can turn it down to 0. We have sound effects, not as important as master volume, I have it on 70%. Commander, even less important, on 50%. And UI is just the clicks you hear right now of the UI, so you can leave this at 100. Voice chat, if you want to change your voice chat from open mic, from push to talk or off, I have it on off right now. Then we have accessibility, right here you have it on 20k, pull this down to 2k so it doesn't ring in your ears. These are the high pitched sounds, I believe. And radio music, for better gameplay, turn this off. That's it for audio. Now we have system, nothing really important here. If you want net for graphs, you can turn this on. Turn on share usage data, so you have all your stats on EA's website. Scoreboard ping, I turn this also on, so I can see everyone's ping and my pings, in what state is the server for me and for other players. And basically that's all. Extra, nothing important, and that's all. That's my guide for how to change your settings in Battlefield 6 for most optimal gameplay. See you next time, folks.